Um, a very good morning. This is Team One, and we are doing our genetics project on the topic gene cloning. So, basically, what do we mean by cloning? So, cloning refers to the ability to cut, modify, or join genetic materials by checking the parameters of the molecules. So, when we come to gene cloning, so gene cloning basically refers to the insertion of a fragment of DNA carrying a gene into a cloning vector and the subsequent propagation of recombinant DNA into many copies. So basically what we are trying to say is you take a fragment of DNA that you want to be expressed, and then you select a particular cloning vector, and then you insert that fragment of DNA into the cloning vector so that the desired gene is expressed. So, what are the importance of gene cloning over here? So, the techniques of gene cloning enable scientists to prepare multiple gene copies of gene-sized particles in the DNA. And some other objectives that we can obtain by gene cloning is purification, manipulation, or protein production, and it can also be used to manipulate biological pathways. So there are certain features of cloning. Such as a foreign gene is entered into a recombinant plasmid, and then this recombinant DNA molecule is returned to the bacterial cell. Recombinant plasmid basically refers to the plasmid or the vector which has the fragment of DNA that we have selected. And every time the cell reproduces, the recombinant plasmid is also replicated and is passed on to the next generation. Under suitable conditions, the bacterial clone will make the protein encoded by the foreign gene. Okay, the next slide. And now over to Abhilakshmi.
Okay, so good morning. My name is Abhilakshi. I'm going to talk about the essential components for cloning a gene. The first one is restriction enzyme or restriction endonuclease. So it is a DNA cutting enzyme that cleaves DNA at specific sites along the molecule. And these enzymes, they recognize one or a few target sequences and cuts the DNA at or near those particular sequences. So these restriction enzymes, they can be isolated from bacterial cells, and then they can be used to manipulate fragments of DNA that contain the genes. So for this reason, they are very essential in recombinant DNA technology. And then we have DNA ligase. So DNA ligase is a DNA joining enzyme or a molecular glue that facilitates the joining of DNA strands by the formation of a phosphodiester bond. So if two pieces of DNA have matching ends, then the ligase can link them to form a single unbroken molecule of DNA. And the third one is a vector. So a vector is any vehicle that is used to carry a desired DNA sequence into a host cell as part of a molecular cloning procedure. And depending on the purpose of the cloning procedure, the vector may assist in multiplying or isolating or expressing the foreign DNA insert. And then we have gene libraries. These are mainly of two distinct categories. One is genomic library and the other one is the cDNA library. The main difference between them is that the cDNA library contains the cloned complementary DNA of total mRNA of an organism, while the genomic DNA library contains the cloned fragments of the entire genome of an organism. So naturally, the genomic DNA library is larger than the cDNA library. And finally, we have selection. So after transformation, the bacteria are selected on antibiotic plates and then they are checked for the presence of recombinant DNA. Yeah, next slide.
Hello, this is Abhirami. I am going to say about restriction enzymes. Restriction enzymes or endonuclease is a protein produced by a bacteria which actually helps in the cleavage of DNA at specific or targeted sites. Thus, they are called as molecular scissors. Basically, there are four types of restriction enzymes. Next slide, please. Which are primarily in structures, cleavage site specificity, and cofactors. Type 1, which recognize specific DNA but make the cut at a random site that can be as far as 1,000 base pairs away from the recognition sites. Type 2, which cleaves on or within the recognition site and the components of the restriction modification system that protects bacteria and archaea invading foreign DNA. Over to Abhiraga.
Good morning, I am Aviruddha. Type 3. Previous slide, please. Type 3. A group of endonucleases that recognize a non-palindromic sequence comprising two inversely oriented sites. Type 3 mostly targets modified DNA. Type 4. Type 4 enzymes recognize modified, ethically methylated DNA and are exemplified by the MCR-BC and MRR systems in E. coli. Mostly, type 4 utilize guided RNA. Next slide. BAMH1. BAMH1 is a type 2 restriction enzyme derived from Bacillus amyloidosis, which recognizes the short sequence of DNA 6 base pair. Binds at a recognizing site 5 GGATCC3 3', 3'. Place the sequences just after 5' G on each strand. Results in sticky end which are 4 base pairs long. Over to next person.
Hello everyone, this is Gayatri. So here we go with cloning vector. Actually, cloning vector is nothing but it's a small piece of DNA that can be stably maintained in an organism. The cloning vectors can be taken from from a virus, or they can also be taken from a plasmid of the bacteria. And the target DNA is directly inserted into the specific sites of the vector, and then they are ligased using DNA ligase. And then the vector is then transformed into the host cell for replication. And it is like introducing the foreign DNA into the host cell where they can be cloned, they can be reproduced into large quantities. Moving to the next slides. Now let us see about the features of cloning vectors. A cloning vector must possess an origin of replication so that they can self-replicate, as said before in the previous slide. And they must have restriction sites for the insertion of the target DNA, and it should possess a small size so that it can be easily integrated into the host cell. Then introduction of the donor DNA fragments must not be actually interfered with the replication property of the vector, and it must possess restriction sites for the restriction endonuclease enzyme, and it must be capable of working under prokaryotic and the eukaryotic system. In both the system, they must be capable of working, and these are some of the features of cloning vector.
Hello, I'm Aishwarya, and I'm going to be talking about a specific cloning vector known as P-Bello-BAC11. P-Bello-BAC11 is an E. coli plasmid which is used for designing the construction of bacterial artificial chromosomes. So, what are bacterial artificial chromosomes? It is a DNA construct based on functional fertility plasmid, and it is used for transforming and cloning in bacteria, which is usually E. coli. They can carry up to 300 kb, and this allows for the propagation of large exogenous DNA fragments. So as you can see in this diagram over here, we have the P-Bello-BAC cloning vector and has a specific origin of replication S. So this has a specific function that it ensures active partitioning such that each daughter cell gets a copy of the plasmid. It also has a repi initiation factor that mediates the assembly of replication complex. Now I'm going to be talking about certain features of the cloning region. So it has unique cloning sites such as BAMH1, SPH1, and HIN3 in a LAC-Z alpha gene, allowing for insert screening by alpha complementation. It has T7 and SP6 phage promoters reading into the cloning sites for generation of RNA probes for various blot procedures. It has several GC-rich restrictions sites flanking the cloning segments for removal of the clone insert. It has a specific chloramphenicol selectable marker. It also has a lambda cos site for packaging into phage lambda particles if desired, and also assures a unique cleavage site for mapping. It has a LOXP site for specific cleavage by 3 recombinase. 3 recombinase is a tyrosine recombinase, and it mediates site-specific recombination between 2 DNA recognition sites. On to the next person.
Hello, I'm Aditi here. So, this is basically a scientific study which was conducted on P-Bello-BAC11 vector. The aim of this study was basically to modify the BAC vector so that genomic inserts present in the vector could be subjected to bidirectional transposon mediated deletions from the wild type and mutant LOXP sites which are present. So the results of the study was as follows. So an oligonucleotide which contains a mutant LOXP2272 site and a XHOL restriction enzyme sequence, were designed and inserted at the S-fill restriction site, which is located 200 base pairs upstream of the LAGZ gene in the vector. Clones containing the desired insert were identified by XHOL restriction digests, and this transposon-mediated deletion allowed researchers to identify the boundaries of cis-acting elements and genes. Next slide, please. So here you can see the P-back11 vector with the mutant LOXP site present. Thank you.
Next slide. Hello everyone, this is Abhinaya. My part is about ligase enzymes. DNA ligase is a specific type of enzymes, a ligase that facilitates the joining of DNA strands. If two pieces of DNA have matching ends, ligase can link them to form a single unbroken molecule of DNA. In DNA cloning, restrictions enzymes and DNA ligase are used to insert genes and other pieces of DNA into plasmids. How does DNA ligase do this? It can be done by using the ATP as an energy source. Ligase catalyzes a reaction in which phosphate group sticking off the fifth end of one DNA strands, and it is linked to the hydroxyl group sticking off to the third end of other. These reactions produce an integer sugar phosphate backbone. Next slide, please.
Good morning, I'm Abhirami Shweta and I'm going to talk on ligase enzyme. The E. coli DNA bacteria, the E. coli DNA ligase is encoded by the LIC gene. The DNA ligase is in E. coli uses energy by cleaving NAD, that is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, to create phosphodiester bond. It does not ligate blunt ends except under certain conditions. The activity of the E. coli DNA ligase can be enhanced by DNA polymerase at right concentration. Enhancement works when concentration of the DNA polymerase 1 are much lower than the DNA fragments to be ligated. Now next is T4 ligase, which is nothing but the DNA ligase from the bacteriophage T4. It is the most commonly used in laboratory research. It can ligate either cohesive or blunt ends of the DNA as well as RNA, but not single-stranded nucleic acid. It can also ligate blunt-ended DNA with much greater efficiency than the E. coli DNA ligase. Unlike E. coli DNA ligase, T4 DNA ligase cannot utilize NAD, and it has an absolute requirement for ATP as a cofactor. Over to the next person.
I'm Aishwarya. I'm going to talk about the procedure. First one, DNA extraction. Any genetic experiment starts extracting DNA, where genomic DNA is isolated using DNA extraction. Second is isolating gene of interest. The restriction enzyme cleaves DNA and its restriction site on both strands. The fragments isolated through electrophoresis and employed for cloning. Third one is selecting vector. The vector carries the gene of interest to host cell and replicates and makes copies of DNA into host cell. The plasmid DNA or vector used in gene cloning. Once plasmid vector selected, a restriction enzyme cut the plasmid to insert ligase. The fourth one is introducing into the host cell. Technique like physical, chemical, or artificial insertion are employed to penetrate DNA in the host cell. Once plasmid or vector inserted into host cell, it started replicating and makes copies of DNA. The fifth one is selecting transformed cell. An antibiotic resistance gene is inserted into plasmid DNA, while transformed cell having antibiotic DNA can grow and separate in appropriate culture media. This last one is isolating cloned gene. The plasmid DNA is separately isolated using the plasmid DNA isolating protocols purified and used in experiment. Thank you. Next.
I'm Akarshini and I'm going to talk about applications of gene cloning. Gene cloning is a common practice in molecular biology labs that is used by researchers to create copies of a particular gene for downstream applications such as sequencing, mutagenesis, genotyping, or heterologous expressions of a protein. The first application is medicinal application. Gene cloning plays an important role in synthesis of vitamins, hormones, and antibiotics. Second one is gene therapy, the process in which defective gene is removed, inserting new and healthy gene into its place is known as gene therapy. Very deadly ailments like leukemia can be treated using gene therapy, in which the defective gene is replaced. Third one is genomic library. From a gene library, it is possible to identify a clone containing the specific gene. This gene can be multiplied by growing the relevant clone in a culture. Over to the next person.
I'm Monisha and I'll be concluding. So, gene cloning starts the new age of modern biotechnology. The objective of gene cloning is to make copies of DNA. The limitations of gene cloning were overcome after the discovery of the polymerase chain reaction in 1983. The polymerase chain reaction is a rapid, cost-effective, accurate, and high-yield technique. The number of DNA copies obtained after the experiment is far more than the conventional gene cloning technique. The PCR saves time and money of experiment and provides ease in the experiment. This makes it a powerful tool in genetics and genomics. Gene cloning is being used to address problems in all areas of agriculture, production, pharmacology, environmental issues, food and nutrition field, etc. Thank you. This was the presentation from Team 1. And these are the references used for the project.